This episode of Indie Game Riot is brought to you by our amazing Patreon supporters like Suzanne J, Pedro C, Richard K, and a special thanks to Keen Hot and Juicy Maverick. If you'd like to support the show, visit patreon.com/IndieGameRiot. And remember, you can't start a riot without a fresh indie news injection.
Hey internets, it's Rev, and we're going spelunking into the depths of Steam's Explorers. We visit Thimbleweed Park and we look for answers with P.A.M.E.L.A, then we're hitting the trail and looking to make our fortunes. It's been a while since we've all been together, and we're on our newly scheduled day, so grab your spray paint and billy clubs. We're going to hit the ground running with episode 122 of the Indie Game Riot.
Indie Game Riot! Hey everybody, this is Josh. I am finally joined by both of these people. That is the bearded lady, Tech.
And my new squeaky chair, which we'll get into.
Yeah. And then the semi-bearded lady, Rev.
We're present, merry band of reprobates.
Yeah.
Not crazy.
Well, we got a good show for you today. We got some good games, according to Tech.
Yeah.
And and according to me, I was the one to put them on there. Rev is a cranky bastard, so we'll see what he has to say. Hey, but first, we're going to talk about our weeks, because you guys care, apparently.
Well,
go ahead, Ted.
Okay. So I got a new chair.
It squeaks.
It's way more comfortable. It does squeak, but I mean, like, I can lock. I can't really lock it because when I lock it, the lock just sort of gives out and makes a loud bang. And
do you ever like lean back in your chair with like if it's not locked, and then like it's gonna lean back, but for like your natural instinct, no matter what, is like, oh, I'm falling. You ever do that?
No.
Sometimes. I know what you're talking about. I totally know what you're talking about.
I lean back too far, and then I know it stops, but I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah,
definitely. Also, Jessie finally got her full driver's license, which is great.
Awesome.
Nice.
It was really funny because we one day she was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna take the test, and then like a week later she had her license.
Nice.
So I guess it's that easy. They took out the parallel parking test though, so
they did away with that for long, like back when I.
So she's not a real driver. She's just a kind of driver.
You still have to like back into spots and like know how to drive. It's not like driving in New Jersey where it's like you take like a 2-hour course, drive for 2 weeks, and then like when you're 15 and a half, you get your full license.
Look out, Maryland! It's GTA up in that bitch.
Yeah, really. Rev, how about you?
I've been working at my new job. That is going really well. Other than some random miscreant work today. I'm getting ready to do an entire onboarding and migration of a new client. Really, really fun, exciting stuff. These guys definitely take care of their employees. I was talking with one of my new associates and asked him how much he was making, and he was like, oh, I'm making this amount. And I was like, that's literally no good. Like, that's what I was making almost a decade ago, and that's not, for what you're doing, you should be making, easily more. And I gave him a number. He messaged me today and asked, did you talk to the owners about that? And I was like, no, I haven't had time yet. It's on my calendar for next week. He was like, oh, because they called me into the office this morning and they gave me a raise to the exact amount that you said that I should be making. And I was like, oh, cool. So like it was not a tiny amount.
They have you tapped.
Yeah. It was a solid 22% raise for him. It's really kind of cool. So, don't you have to have a job pays you in order to get a 22% raise.
If you count Patreon, I mean, then it would be like, what's 22% of 30?
Let's find out.
He's gonna actually look.
6.6.
Hey,
So somebody wants to throw us a 5,
bucks.
a 1, and some change. You can make this dream a reality. Patreon.com/Indie Game Riot.
Yeah. So no. But yeah, no. I think things are generally going well. I haven't done a whole lot of gaming. My laptop is on the fritz still and again. I'm trying to save up enough to really build out a decent system, but there's things like car registration and car payment and
I just did mine.
rent that kind of need to take priority. So, but yeah, no, things are going good. Things are going good. Also, forgive the bit that I was going to say in the intro that I didn't. MST3K on the 14th is available to all you plebes on Netflix. If you didn't back it in the Kickstarter.
Oh, it's already on Netflix.
It's already on there. Yeah,
you're talking about the new episodes.
Oh, new up. Oh, gotcha.
But it is already on Netflix, just not the new episode.
Cool.
Right.
I was watching the first one. Which, by the way, why is that considered the most iconic episode? The
Hands of Manos.
Yeah.
No,
because it's not that funny.
It's really not, but it really captures.
It's a shitty movie, and the movie in itself is boring.
No, I think part of it is it has a cult following as a movie itself, and B, the director of it has been absolutely a fan of it. He saw the MST3K run of it, and he was like, this is absolutely hilarious, and it makes my movie a million times better. You guys are amazing, and he started pimping it out, and I think that's in large part.
Those knees, though.
Right. Puma Man's better. Pod People is better. If you get the chance, I can't remember its name. Overdrawn at the Memory Bank is better, but yeah. So if you did back it, you get downloadable access to all the episodes on the 13th, starting at midnight Pacific time, and they go live on Netflix on the 14th. I have already taken the 13th and the 14th off of work, specifically for this. I just emailed my boss. It was like, sorry, I got a date on the Satellite of Love with a guy and 2 robots. So
and PS3K Riot, where you get your robot folks.
Yep. So how about Judge?
Yeah, so like I said, I've been having technical issues since Friday actually. I was able to stream a good amount of playtime for Streets of Rogue, which we talked about last week. Or a couple weeks ago, I think. And then I was going to do some RimWorld, and then all of a sudden, as I was transitioning, just shit went to shit. And OBS was being a dick. And it continued today. That's why there was for those of you live, that's why there was a delay, is because I had to update drivers, and that did fix it. So thankfully it wasn't too complicated. But then the other thing, the kicker throughout the week, is that my preamp, or I should say my headphones need a special jack adapter for my preamp, because the headphones are a 1/4 inch like most headphones, and then they need to get adapted to 3.55 millimeter when it screws over it. And somehow, I don't know, I just I didn't even notice when I pulled out the jack.
You mean one of these?
Yeah. Somehow.
Or one of these.
Somehow
or
the tip.
One of these.
Somehow the tip snapped off inside of my preamp.
One of the. Oh wow, that's bad.
And so not only did my adapter get jacked up, and it's not that big a deal, the adapter, because it's $5 or less depending on what you get.
But
it was snapped off in my $200 preamp.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck? Like, I don't know. I couldn't, like, wedge it out.
Go down to the hardware store. You can't do this anymore, but go down to the hardware store, get a left-hand thread screw that will, like, screw into it, and then screw the left-handed screw into it, and then pull it out.
I saw that, and that just seemed, I don't know, a bit much.
Horrible?
But,
yeah, I mean...
So what I did, actually, is I actually have the thing here. Here's the bottom. It snapped off. There's the bottom. I don't know how easily you can see it. But you can see the tip snapped off. Here's the tip. Taken out of context. Wow. What I did was I put super glue on the tip.
Brilliant.
Of a long, thin nail. I had to be careful so I wouldn't touch the sides inside of the thing. But
I now have this mental image of you like, this'll work. Oh shit!
I was really like,
nail.
My thought was either this is gonna work or I'm never gonna get it out anyway. So,
that's a pretty clever idea. That is a.
So I let it dry once I got it in there, and then it just yanked it out. So that I had to get it. So I spent most of the week until actually yesterday without the headphone jack to go into my preamp, and I couldn't hear myself. Like I was playing D&D online, and I couldn't hear myself. And whenever that happens, I talk like I'm having a stroke. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So that was interesting, but all is well. I got a new one, and it's in there. And tomorrow's my birthday, so I expect all the presents.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Where's my present?
You know what else? You know what else is really happy and and a little bit birthday?
You know what you
and
get me for my birthday?
What?
Oh, that would have been a good segue.
See?
Would have been, yeah.
There you go.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an indie news injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
And this week on No, just kidding. Fuck.
Oh, this is your thing, isn't it?
Yeah, this has been a... Sorry, guys. I'm off beat. Let's try that again, shall we? Take 2. Indie News Injection. And this week on Indie News Injection, we have some really sad news. It's both celebratory and also... our condolences. There's a group of developers called Growtopia, or the game, I guess. I'm not sure if they're a company that.
No. Growtopia is the game.
Okay, because they're talking about like, oh, it's us, and so yeah. Anyways, the guys in charge of Growtopia have been acquired by Ubisoft, so congratulations to them on that.
I gotta ask.
Yeah,
I don't know much about this game as a parent. When I earlier got it confused with another game that is actually I've actually played. This game looks like Flash trash. Like I don't. From the initial look at it, am I wrong in that? Like, is this because Ubisoft has interest in it?
It is only made by 2 people, it seems.
Okay. Why is Ubisoft purchasing this?
I don't know. Maybe it's making money. Weird. Just because it looks like Flash trash doesn't mean it can't make money.
I know that. I mean, we've played other games that kind of look like Flash games, but ended up being really good. But I mean, I haven't seen anything of it that makes me think, oh, this is why Ubisoft bought it.
I could see that. It seems to check a lot of the creativity boxes that everybody's looking for a new Minecraft type thing, and Prep in chat says they probably went after it because when he was a moderator, it had 50 million players. Okay.
Prep, did you put it in the notes? Is that who did it?
Yeah. That's
who
did
that makes sense. All right.
So congratulations on that. Yeah. So congratulations on that. But our condolences because it's Ubisoft, which means you're probably going to die.
The prevailing theory is that Ubisoft is just wrecking themselves when they're out of spite for preparing for. Is it Vivaldi? I think that's the name, Vivaldi. The company that's trying to take them over aggressively.
Oh,
so
nice.
maybe that's the case.
Yeah,
like that.
maybe. It's the rumor.
Yeah. There's another rumor, Tech.
Yeah, the other rumor is that a game called We Happy Few is getting a movie, which is a little odd. If you don't know, or if you don't remember, We Happy Few was a Kickstarter that turned into a survival, adventure, horror, stealth game sort of thing.
Not really horror. It's just kind of weird. It's
well, yeah, sort
of.
of
in the same way that BioShock was.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of like BioShock. Sort of like a lot like what's that 2D game? Don't Starve.
Well, it's just kind of off-putting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's getting a movie. It's being produced by the producer who produced Pitch Perfect, Gold Circle Entertainment, and DJ2 Entertainment are apparently going to actually like do it, like produce it.
Mm-hmm.
Right now they're still looking for people to write scripts for them. So obviously it's not very far along.
There's a good chance it might not ever happen.
Exactly.
But
I was going to say that.
What's weird about this is that this game is still in early access, and it's not that it hasn't been out for that long, and and it's popular, but I didn't think it was popular enough to be like, let's make it. Maybe it's just it's simply the premise probably caught someone's eye, but it's odd that people would be putting any kind of resource, because you know how Hollywood is. They don't want to spend resources on just really anything, to be honest.
Right.
I gotta move my camera down.
Definitely. So I mean, we'll keep our eyes out for that. I don't think it really needs to happen. The game sort of speaks for itself. So
one thing that did not speak for itself, because I forgot to put it in the notes, is Indie Revolution Expo happening. July. Hold on.
July 14th, something.
14th through the 16th. So that is coming quickly. Make sure you prepare for that. And if you haven't signed up your game for Indie Revolution Expo, sign up. Go register. It is free. Free exposure. And it's a good time all around.
Damn, is it a lot of fun.
And you could do a panel if you wanted to. There's panels to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign up for one.
Sign up for a panel.
IndieGameRiot.com.
Something else that you can sign up for is Valve's new thing that has to do with Steam Direct called Steam Explorers, and that really has to do with it's a lot more intertwined with the whole curator thing on going on Steam.
Yep.
Basically, the idea they met with Total Biscuit and Jimquisition. Forget his last name.
Yeah, Jim Sterling.
Sterling, thank you. They met with those two at some point, like a week ago, and had a meeting and came up with ideas of how to do Steam Direct, because why not do a program without a plan? But anyway, the ideas they came up with are pretty interesting. It's basically they're going to continue to let games on. We still don't know about the whole fee thing, but this might be a push in the direction of keeping it cheap.
Right.
Is that
well? You also have to consider too that the opt-in system that this is, you buy the game.
Yeah.
From a selected list, and then you
Well,
and
basically,
you evaluate it.
The initial idea is to make it so that crappy games are basically buried. So they're still on Steam, but if they're not good, curators and your whole how they customize your homepage for you to feature games and stuff like that. Between that and the curators, it's basically the plan is to make sure that they eventually bury the crappy games quickly, so that way they're not clogging up Steam for good games to be seen by everyone. So, on the curator side, because this kind of affects us, Indie Game Riot, because we are curators on Steam. By the way, we're growing kind of fast.
Are we?
Yeah, we're close to 500 followers on there.
Nice.
Wow.
So and there's a big jump at some point because there's like 14,000 pages, and we're on page like 30 something out of all the list of curators. So there, at some point, as we rise like into the thousands, there's a big jump between like the really big curators like Total Biscuit and people like that, and like people like us at this point. So, but we are gaining pretty quickly on there. But anyway, Steam Explorer specifically is the idea of giving incentive to people to purchase the game, like even crappy games or good games, try them out, and then say, hey, this is crappy, which then will help bury it with that information. Or, hey, this is good, which helps it rise to the top.
And you get one refund per week.
And the idea is that if it is crappy, you can refund it that week. And it's just no questions asked, refund. No, like, there's not even like a limit. Like, you finish the game, whatever, it's still refunded. So that's the incentive to that, is that you can purchase it, and if it's not good, you can give it back. If it's good, you keep it. And then on top of that, I think they're planning on doing like a level-based thing for curators. So maybe it starts with that, but you get more and more perks the better you do as a curator, the more involved you are, that sort of thing. So I think it's a good idea to keep it, instead of blocking them purely with the fee of $5,000 or whatever, keeping the fee low, which opens it up to shovelware if you keep it low. But then in this case, then the shovelware just gets buried. So it works, I think.
Because it forces people
to play. It forces people to buy the game.
Right.
That's the important part.
So, I mean, we talked about Steam Direct before, and to kind of go into like the discussion point. What is first of all, what's your take on those ideas? Do you have any ideas to improve, or do you think you should go in another direction, that sort of thing?
I don't understand why this wouldn't be a good move for Steam, because no matter what, they're encouraging people to buy games, and that makes them money, and thus makes other people money. So, if anything, this is just going to help people buy new games, which I don't think is bad, really.
Well,
Go ahead.
I've heard that Steam Greenlight initially had this as like, it was like the ideal Steam Greenlight. This whole situation that they're talking about is very community driven, so they're not spending resources, trying to curate it themselves. So I think they're moving towards that whole community curation through Steam curators, and it kind of help. It's kind of a win-win that way.
It is. Here's something that's been kind of bothering, and it's been kind of percolating in the back of my mind for a while now, and this really came to light because I discovered that with Windows 10, as long as you're current up to date on it, there is no way for you to schedule the time in which your computer is going to reboot after it updates. They've removed that. And it got me thinking about companies that are offloading any responsibility for what they're doing to this. So Valve is a very lucrative company, even outside of their actual video games, because let's be honest, they don't do video games anymore. Well, I mean, you chuckle, but what was the last game that Valve released?
Left 4 Dead
2. When did that come out? 2008?
Something like that. I think it was Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, when did it come out? Left 4 Dead 2 was...
I'm thinking like 2000... No,
2009.
Yeah.
November 17th of 2009. Like, they've not done a fucking game since then. So really what they're doing is they're Steam
Dota 2
at this point. Dota 2?
Yeah, they do the free-to-play stuff.
So they're not actually doing any games.
Not really.
And they're just making some modifications to existing properties. So really, they're just kind of, Steam at this point, and they're offloading the responsibility for that onto their audience, their consumers.
It's smart business, though.
No, it is, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I'm getting frustrated by it at a personal level. Not just because my issues with the way Microsoft is now using us as Q&A since they got rid of their Q&A department. No, they do. They just push updates out, and then the beta channel goes, hey, you fucking broke absolutely everything. And they're like, well, yeah, sorry about that. Format reinstall. You agreed to not hold us responsible for it. And then they go and maybe fix something.
And then I stay with 8.1.
Right. Like, it's not... That's an advanced version of it, but I'm seeing this more and more in other places, and it's irritating to me because it I don't know. It's frustrating. It would not take too much. I mean, you figure give each game 4 hours of your time, and these are the official Steam releases, and hire 10 people. It can't be that much to hire somebody to play video games for 8 hours a day. Fuck, most people would do it for free, as evidenced by the fact we're rolling out this, where it's like, you see what I'm saying? I don't know. There's something about this that feels fishy to me that I don't like, and it's not like, I think it's a great idea. I think
it does have a bit of a.
Well, it definitely services Valve.
It feels a little unfinished.
It definitely services Valve, but
it feels very beta.
But don't you like the idea of having the fate of these games in your control?
Well, I mean, Newgrounds does it.
No. I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
Does it, but
it's like the same thing, right? Like that's essentially the same thing.
Newgrounds
like
also makes like maybe 6 figures as opposed to like close to $1 billion.
Right, but
Newgrounds is also
system.
That system. Newgrounds. I don't know. Newgrounds to me is always more the passion projects. Like or even just the quick, fun, flashy stuff. And I'm not talking down on the difference. Like, it's just as necessary for games and the gaming environment as Steam is. But there's still I don't know. I think it feels like there's a slippery slope here. And I can't articulate it now.
Do you think it would be slipperier than Greenlight is?
No, because Greenlight. No.
I think that the premise of this. I feel like it would be very difficult to game the system. I feel like the system is relatively stable. You know what I mean?
I don't know. We'll have to see it in implementation.
They must weight people's
part of it too,
like responses, right? Like
part of it too is I'm
if somebody
a little happy because we're curators, so it kind of helps us.
Right, but I'm trying to look beyond our individual thing. I mean, like you look at the article that was kind of basing this off of, and you look in the comments, and of the top 500 comments, 485 of them are "fuck Total Biscuit," and he's a piece of shit and blah blah blah. And I don't like. On the one hand, like it makes sense why they would do this, because hey, people have their fans, and so they trust those people's opinions. So why not help build a customized store experience for them based on? But at the same time, like that's offloading all of that, for lack of a better word, stability, onto something as fucking fickle as an internet personality. Like all Total Biscuit has to do is like get caught smoking meth like once, and
he's allowed to smoke drugs because he has cancer.
meth is not a cancer drug.
But you know what I
But
mean.
my point is, like, it takes one fucking instant and then the entire internet will turn on them. I mean, Fine Brothers, you know, okay, so we're curators, awesome, and then we're gonna try and trademark React and fuck you guys, and their shit dropped by the millions. And so now all of those people that were utilizing that, and for ethical or moral reasons, stop following that, now have to rebuild their curation list. That, like, they're I don't know. It just something feels off.
But with multiple curators, you know, when one goes down, it's not like the whole thing goes down. Plus, wouldn't you feel more comfortable trusting the suggestions of someone who's closer to our position when it comes to Steam in general than it is in the microcosm of Steam's company?
Nope. I honestly, I literally, I would trust the people whose paychecks rely on it.
But from what it is saying is that each game is evaluated like in a very similar way with like a questionnaire, and you actually have to fill out, like, you know, all these different things.
I get that, but they're literally putting they're from their perspective, big bad side for me is that whole internet personality thing. Like one curator pisses off their fans, and all of the people that were like, now they're going to not follow that particular curator, which means lost sales to Valve unless somebody else just happens to be.
No matter what happens, you need to make sure that all of the games that person is reviewing and checking out, like that, they don't know who's getting those games, right? Like
no, because you
have it be
do.
like
You do. The way that it's laid out right now, you get a list, a pre-approved list, and how difficult would it be for we'll pick a nasty gram from the past, Activision, to come to us and be like, hey, we'll give you 10 grand if you give us your positive review when our game comes up in your you see what I'm saying? Like, sure, I had to shell out $60 for the game, or possibly less if we get a discount.
That's why I don't think it should be big personalities like that. That's a good point. It should just be like everyday users who decide that they want to take part in it.
I mean, obviously they have the platform to get their curation groups bigger, but there are a lot of big curator groups out there that are just people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know. Even still, it just there's something feels off about this to me, and I can't really articulate it. I'll think on it, but they're just something feels off. It's a step in the right direction. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like totally no, because it's better than nothing. And I'm a big fan of, hey, shit's broken, let's try something. But I don't know. I'm seeing more pitfalls than bonuses for both.
Well,
Valve
you know what?
and
I think that considering that Steam, I mean, mind you, slowly and begrudgingly killed the greenlight system after a while, but
it's not dead yet.
But it's in its last moments, and it's getting replaced. So at least they understand that there's a problem that needs to be solved. Will this answer necessarily fix that problem? Maybe not. But at least something is happening.
I'm just glad they're stepping away from $5,000 fucking fees. I mean, it's still not.
Well,
they still could, but that's what it seems like they're doing to me.
Nah, I don't. Yeah. I doubt that.
Well, you know what's not in doubt?
Start a fucking riot, that's what.
Starting riot. This week on Starting the Riot, we're talking about a Go classic adventure game called Thimbleweed Park.
Can you really call it a classic?
Well, it's classic in the sense that it's coming from what the fuck?
People who made classic games.
Why can't I cannot think of.
I know. I'm looking for it. I saw it earlier. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. I found it. Hold on. Give me like one moment.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm on the
Well, anyway,
press kit.
Thimbleweed Park is by Terrible Toy Box.
Monkey Island and Maniac Mansion. The guys, two guys from there.
But what the fuck is the guy's name?
Ron Gilbert
Thank you.
and Gary Winnick.
Ron Gilbert is the name that I know. Anyway, that's what I was thinking. It comes from them. So if you're talking about between like Ron Gilbert and fucking Schaefer Man,
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
they're talking. You're talking like classic adventure games brought over to something more modern. And the art in this is very Ron Gilbert-esque, if that makes sense, in that cartoonish kind of way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all kind of cartoons because it's like pixel art, but like the big heads and the weird movements and stuff like that. It's very quirky, this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the humor, it's weird because like in one sense, I'm like, the humor in this is terrible. Like, it's not funny, but at the same time, it's very self-aware in the sense that it's like campy 90s kind of humor.
So it's like supposed to not be funny?
Well, for instance, there's a part where there's a lot of flashbacks in this game and that you actually have to play through, and one of them has to do with this clown called Ransom the Clown, and he is like, his thing is like he insults people. He doesn't even have jokes. He just goes out and insults people and people laugh at it. And he like curses like the entire time, and it's bleeped out, which is okay. But then there's like other people that talk to him, like he has an agent who literally says like, well, bleep you. He says like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, I quit, bleep you. Or go bleep yourself or something like that. And I'm like, really? It's self-aware in the sense that it knows that it's pulling from that era where that kind of like, I don't know if they still do it, but you remember when like in a lot of TV edits, they have like really terrible edits for curse words.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like that,
How does it feel? What's the one, the airline edit for Big Lebowski? Have you not seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that.
The original line is, how's it feel to get fucked in the ass? And the edit for it was like going skiing in the Alps or something.
That's pretty bad. Wow. So anyway, and then, a lot of the humor is kind of like campy like that. And so part of me just wants to be like, come on, write better. But then the other part of me is like, they're doing this shit on purpose. So the cool thing about this too, as far as mechanics go, is that you can switch between the two characters that you're seeing on screen right now. Mm-hmm. They're both supposedly, I haven't actually completed the game yet. They're both supposedly FBI agents investigating this murder, the guy that's laying in a river, and in this town called Thimbleweed, and you go through pretty incompetently, it seems. Although the people in the town. Oh, here's another one. There's like a sheriff that talks like he always adds a Rooney or Arini or something like that at the end of words. It's like
it's the case of Rooney.
Yeah. What you do is you go to open the door Arini or Areno. Oh, Areno. That's what he says at the end of everything. And then like there's a what do you call it? The guy who gets dead bodies. I cannot think of
coroner.
Coroner, thank you. Who adds a who at the end of everything. It's like little things like that.
So you can like remember them.
Now, refresh my memory because it's been a long time since I played like any like actual classic adventure games. But you see the mechanics down in the bottom left of the game where it's like open, close, give, pick up, look at. You have to click those. Yeah. Click on the thing on the screen. That's pretty classic. LucasArts,
mechanics.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I thought, and I always thought that's one thing I'm not a huge fan of, even though I know it's like classic LucasArts.
I think it's just how they executed it, right?
I've always
there are
appreciated
plenty of
Sierra's version of.
That's true. I do like Sierra's version better personally. That's probably my biggest gripe, but I mean, other than that, like, I think other than that, it takes up so much space on the screen.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest thing for it. But other than that, Can't
Well,
really complain.
it's that, but it's just kind of like a little tedious having to go click, click, click,
Yeah.
click, 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 you know, like trying to get everything. It's not too bad though. It's just I'm definitely into the Sierra version of interaction. The story is interesting so far, and there's really unique characters. There's a little bit of a shadiness too, or it's a little bit of creepy factor because there's this killer on the loose, who's kind of like you saw, I think earlier where he killed the guy.
The
just
shadow,
pops out of fucking shadows and shit.
Well, it's a noir mystery.
Yeah.
So I mean, it needs to have that.
And the whole town, just kind of give you a premise is like the economy was built around this around this pillow factory, and the guy who ran it, it was like there's a lot of conflicts of interest because the guy who ran it was like basically like everyone loved him because of how his factory did, you know, help the town, but then the factory shut down, so the town's like basically fucked. There's only like a few businesses open. Some lady used to run a cake shop, and then they started automating everything around town, so she switched to selling strictly tubes, and I'm talking like the glass tubes with wires in them.
Vacuum tubes.
Yeah, vacuum tubes. Thank you. My vocabulary is out the door at this time of night. So it's just weird, quirky things like that. Quirky is probably the best word to talk about it.
I think my favorite thing about it is that like there's so much expanse in front of you, and that's one of those things that these old adventure games exactly. But also like there's so much story and there's so many steps and so many things that you'll go through, and that's one of those things that I miss from old adventure games like this, where so much is happening around you.
Yeah.
And once you do all these like huge things, and then there's like 30 more huge things you have to do.
Yeah.
But it's all fun, and it's really exciting. Like once you've accomplished something great.
Like in your inventory, you're always holding onto it like a checklist of to-do things. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of nice that you can always reference that. Because a lot of the older games, you'd have to like literally like have a notebook for shit. So one other gripe I have with it, and it sounds like I'm griping a lot. It's just really nitpicking. Is the voice acting is pretty inconsistent. Mm-hmm. Some of the like secondary characters, like I mentioned, the sheriff and the clown, their voice actors are good, but then like the actual main characters, the two detectives, I do not like their voice actors. They're underwhelming. One has like this weird accent that's just out of place. Like it sounds like they just got some guy that was like around in the development studio, which is possible, I guess. I didn't see whose name it was. So maybe I'm more picky about that because being a voice actor, but it takes me out a little bit.
I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah. Because I've heard like amateur stuff sound like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why when you have all this money to put into it?
Yeah, it's like could they not find anybody a little better?
Yeah. So, but I mean, overall, it's a really good game. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it's keeping me entertained and moving forward through the story. Once at first, I had to kind of get the hang of it. There was a little bit of a curve just getting back into the whole LucasArts style type of thing.
Yeah.
But it once you get the hang of it, you start moving forward pretty fast. So I don't know. I think you'll really enjoy it, Tech, especially since you liked Nelly Kudalat and all that.
Yep, I'm totally gonna play this game. It is just to get this out of the way, it is $19.99 on Steam. You can pick it up for Windows, Mac, or Steam Play. And if you speak French, English, Italian, German, or Spanish, you are in luck.
It's also on Linux, Xbox One, and soon to be Android. And we'll see what else they do with it.
It's by Terrible Toy Box, and you should definitely check it out.
You know what else we're gonna check out?
Wait.
If you
we also have to. We do have to mention that this is the game where you can choose which direction the toilet paper goes.
It is. That's it.
This is that game. $19.99 puts a price on that.
and it's
Maybe you
under.
want to pull the trigger.
Sickos.
Yeah.
Peep Show.
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
This week on Peep Show, we're talking about P.A.M.E.L.A.
No,
In this particular case,
we're talking about P.A.M.E.L.A.
or P.A.M.E.L.A.
P.A.M.E.L.A. if you're not a tool.
Which at first, in their trailer, looked like a walking simulator. And I was worried. Luckily...
It's more like a slogging simulator. To be honest.
Exactly.
Did you play any of it?
No, I haven't played any of it yet. But it's sort of like if BioShock and what's another Mass Effect sort of came together.
No,
not new Mass Effect.
It's because I mean, I guess you're talking about aesthetics because of
I'm talking about
stuff.
aesthetics, not game wise,
Okay.
not game wise.
Right.
No. Basically, the game wise is you're exploring this utopia that was built and then ravaged by disease, and all of the occupants that are left in this vast paradise are demented or zombies. They're just zombies.
They're more like it's kind of
zombies.
It's kind of zombies.
It's zombies.
Yeah.
It's
I would say it's closer to the enemies in BioShock, but
that's true.
It's kind of zombies.
Yeah, exactly. Very futuristic, very pretty. From what I can tell, the combat mechanic seems to be a little clunky.
Yes.
I don't know if you can you agree with that, Josh?
Yes.
And I think that is going to be
Well, let's preface it first by saying this is early access.
Exactly.
Which
is early access.
Which the reason I put this game in here is because of the potential.
Right. Exactly.
It is weird, and this game is, just put it out there, it is an open world survival game.
Yeah.
Like Rust or anything like that. It's just in a weird saying, but the way it's done makes it feel like a first person, like, Dead Spacey or something like, or BioShock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, the early access feels like weird because it seems like they just didn't finish a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like some problems, you mentioned the combat was clunky because I did play this. The combat is clunky. The inventory system is really weird. There's tutorials, but they're not very helpful. Like I had no idea what my objective was or what I should be doing. Like I knew it was a survival game, but I was like, what? There's base building in it. I was like, well, I'm in a base. Like this whole thing is a base. Like what do you mean base building? So it was like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So I ended up just walking around. And speaking of walking, the first thing I was like, the walking in it is like walking through molasses. Like it's just like, ugh. So I'm hoping they change that.
Yeah.
Before as early access
it seems like what they've done is they've worked on the systems and the way everything looks, and they haven't focused a whole lot on how everything plays.
It's very bare bones as far as like it is a playable game. It is
that kind of and especially considering that they talk on their website about having a more of a narrative added to the game.
The narrative is pretty subtle, or if it's not subtle, it's just hard.
Well,
to find.
they're talking about making it a bigger part of the game, implementing that somehow.
Well, like there's
because it's not right now. It's non-linear, and you have a persistent world with permadeath, depending on how you're playing. If you play it on normal mode and you die. Then that's it. You're dead. You lost everything that you've done, all your augmentations, all of your inventory, but the world persists. If you're playing it on hard mode, the whole fucking thing restarts.
So, well, there's a thing too with balancing, and of course that's always an early access thing with balancing. But there's things like you have to, and this mechanic seems a little contrived to me. Like, it's just like, why? But a lot of times to get things, you have to scan these things with question marks on them, and then it'll tell you if there's something in there or if it's locked, and you have to hack it. And like all the hacking is set to hard, and I just don't understand why I need to hack things. Like I could see that maybe for like something that was protected or something that was like really rare, but it was like everything. Also, I don't know if it's procedurally generated as far as like things that you can find or enemies, but you can find items that are like really, really good like early on, which, you know, there's supposed to be some sort of progression. And the enemies, you could get really screwed and end up getting, you know, cornered by like 3 of the hardest enemies in the game instead of just those little zombie people.
So really what we're getting at is right now
it's very rough.
For $24.99 you might want to wait for a few more updates.
But we wanted to show it to you
because it's cool as hell. And it looks great.
Because it's a really cool premise. And
it's
by the way,
very, very neat.
There's a factions system in this. So you can so the enemies that you encounter don't necessarily have to be enemies. Like, it depends on how you interact with them. It's just that it was weird to me. I don't know if it's an early access thing or if it's just, I don't know if I did something wrong or if I was just unlucky. But I ran into 3 different types of people. I ran into the drugged out people, or the zombie, whatever they are. I ran into like regular people, and I ran into a robot. So, and they all attacked me. Unprovoked. I was just standing there. You know what I mean? Zombies, obviously, I was like, okay, well, they're zombies. And it goes through like a tutorial, like one comes after you, and you're like, this is how you fight. But then, like, I was just standing there looking at my inventory, and all of a sudden I heard someone like at I was like, oh, here's a zombie. And no, it was just a regular lady. I was like, what the fuck did I do to you? You're not tripping out. Like, what's your problem? So, I mean, it's a very rough game at this point.
As it stands.
And I think at $24.99 it's actually kind of expensive for an early access
game.
Yeah,
but if this game polishes itself up,
it's
truly, because I think that's what it needs. It's just a bit of polish in the right places. I can totally see this game being worth $24.99.
It's a really cool premise. That's why we wanted to show you, because
definitely
it's something to keep an eye on, and assuming that they do their jobs well, $24.99 definitely worth it later on. So go check it out. P.A.M.E.L.A by NV.
It's NVYE Studios. NVYVE.
Yeah. That's a mouthful. And it'll be PC only, so
yeah.
You know.
Womp womp. Well, they might expand it through early access. You never know.
They might. They said they'll see how it goes, but at the moment their only goal is PC.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, you know what our only goal is at this point?
To make our fortunes.
And go
yes.
mobile.
This week on Going Mobile, we hit the trail. This is an interesting game. I literally just learned something about it that changes it for me slightly, and I'm not sure if that's just my own bias or not. But long story short, you come to the new world and you want to go to Eden. That's literally the name of the place you're going to, Eden Falls. And you start off in rags with a little backpack and you're barefoot and you start walking and you meet some people that'll help you out and you collect some stuff and then you make some shoes, and it's kind of a collecty-walkie simulator game by 22 Cans. And this is the part that hurts Peter Molyneux.
Yeah, that was painful. Like, between that and the fact that it's published by Congregate, I was like, should I? But the game's really fun.
Yeah, no, it really is. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's relatively simplistic. As you can see on the screen, you're literally just walking. You have no control over where you're walking. You just walk. You have stamina that you can boost if you eat some stuff, and then that's you collect stuff on the side of the road, and then you can build tools, and then you can sell things to other hobos, and then you have money to do stuff. I haven't found a use for money.
Cool. What's cool though, you mentioned about selling to other hobos, is that it's all other people, like real people. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are real people that you're trading.
Oh, really?
With. Yes, there are other people that are playing the game at that moment.
I had no idea of that.
You're trading with them. If they're sometimes they'll pass you on a road and steal the shit that you're trying to collect because they're collecting it too. So it's part of the game. So, but that's one thing that's really cool about it is that it's real people.
That is, I was unaware of that aspect. That's not shown anywhere.
Some of them are NPCs, and I don't know how far you got into the game. So
I just reached the ferry.
No, you should have come across them by now.
No,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Before you knew that P.A.M.E.L.A was behind this game, what did you think of it?
It's cute. It's adorable. I have gripes about the controls. It's kind of clunky and non-reactive, but overall, it's all right. And then I found out P.A.M.E.L.A was involved, and I went, "Oh, all of my complaints make sense."
But you know what? I mean,
hey, P.A.M.E.L.A made Fable, and Fable's great.
I was gonna say, as much as people give him shit.
He made
the guy has really good ideas. He just doesn't follow through.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty confident that's partially my own bias against him because I can't stand the man. But no, it's you craft, you learn recipes, you trade, you explore all that fun stuff.
The backpack mechanic, like how it fills up, is that annoying to you, or do you appreciate the challenge of
it is both annoying and not. I like the fact that I can keep stacking things in my backpack as long as they don't fall.
It's interesting. For people to put it into context, like you see the backpack there, like there's a physics to the backpack. It's not like slots.
Yeah.
It literally just goes in there and piles up. You don't have an
inventory slot. Yeah, and so like on the one hand, yes, but on the fact that absolutely everything except what you are currently wearing goes into the backpack, and the fact that you can only craft items at rest stops is difficult.
I think that's part of the challenge.
Challenge or not, like that's my biggest mechanical gripe about it, because like I have a quest and they're like, cool, you need to make an axe and then collect some logs. Well, and it's like awesome.
You can get upgrades to your backpack too to put some of those things like the axe on your belt or something like that, so it's not taking up space. You can get bigger bags.
Provided you've taken the appropriate quests to, there's ways to upgrade it. My biggest problem is I don't feel at the moment that it's very welcoming in terms of that. Like collect the simplest example was literally collect 3 logs was the quest that I had, and create a single axe. Awesome. So now I've learned how to craft axes, and then everything breaks down, like it has durability and limited amount of hits on those axes, and I managed to collect 1 whole log before the next area, and she's they're trying to use it as a tutorial as well, so they're like, oh hey, now you have to spend money on it, not real money, in-game money, chits as they call it, but it just like you don't tell me to do something and then give me the tools to do it and then not allow me to create those tools. It's a mild complaint, all things considered. I
usually just shove everything, like I force it in there, but it is annoying how it falls out and then people can steal it. I've gotten to a campsite and before I've crafted, things were like falling out as I was getting there. And I'm like, shit. And people are like, and then something valuable falls out, and they're like, and then they take it and trade it. I'm like, really, bastard? But it's nice because as you're crafting, like, shit falls out all the time because you're pulling stuff out. But in that case, it actually just goes right back into your bag.
Provided it falls. Yeah, no, I did catch that. But yeah, no, I mean, all in all, it's a fun little game. The advertisements that are in game, every so often you get an offer, watch an advertisement and get 2 chits, and it was annoying as fuck because so far I have earned a grand total of 10 chits by watching the same 83-second long advertisement.
Okay, I never watched an ad on here ever.
I'm willing to give everybody the chance. Like I'm testing things out. Like I'm doing my diligence in this, and like it's the same fucking advertisement, and it's 82 seconds long, and I get 2 chits for it. It's almost not worthwhile. It is not worthwhile.
One thing I appreciate about the game though is that a lot of mobile games put you in this, like, you have so much energy and and it'll stop you. And there is a mechanic like this. There's stamina in this, but you're able to refill it enough that you can play this game for long periods of time if you want to. I played it when I first started playing it. I was playing for like 2 hours at least.
Oh yeah, no, I probably already sunk a good 90 minutes into it, and I'm just now reaching the ferry. Yeah. But it's not like go check it out. It's free. The ads are non-intrusive. They literally, all you do is it pops up and says, "Hey, you can watch it," and it only happens at campsites where you're recovering your stuff, your stamina.
I think there's one other moment that, if I'm not mistaken, and it's like that. Some person that has like fancy exotic stuff, she like sells them on the side of the road. She pops up every so often. I think you have to get what are they? It's like the premium currency, not the chits, but
yeah, it's favors.
Yeah, it'll give you that in order so you can buy stuff that's better.
You can also buy favors directly from the game, starting at I believe $5.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all right, and it's got about 5 million downloads. So knock it out. It'll be fun. I enjoyed it.
Coming in with the mobile games. Know what else is coming in?
The end of the show.
The end of the show is coming in right now because all good things must come to an end, of course. First of all, thank you all for in the live chat for showing up. If you want to catch us live, for those of you listening to the recorded version, we are now Wednesdays, generally 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The only reason we start later is if schedules don't allow for 9:30. Then it would be 10:30. But anyway, it is now Wednesday evenings that we do the show.
And thank you for that, by the way. This is really helpful for me.
Sure. On twitch.tv/Indie Game Riot. That's what it is. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/Indie Game Riot. That way you can help us financially grow the show, achieve goals, all that kind of cool stuff. Sacrifice 1 coffee a month. Totally appreciate it. We're also on Twitter at IGR Podcast or Facebook.com/IGR Podcast. Any last words, gentlemen?
I think Wednesday is going to be a good day to do this.
Oh yeah,
it's exciting.
Yeah, Wednesday's.
I'm going to play some Thimbleweed Park or whatever.
We're going to have a good time. Well, say goodbyes.
See you next time, guys.
Have a good one, folks.
Toodles.